Hey peeps, I'm Michelle.
Hey, it's Kat.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie.
Hey, what up? It's Faith.
Hey, it's Lori.
Hey, Sydney.
And this is the Red Lips and Mic Drops podcast.
Red lips and mic drops, big hips and lip gloss. I'm talking issues and our thoughts. The world's unfair, so let's talk.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Red Lips and Mic Drops. We are ready for Kat to spin the wheel.
Heck yeah! This is my favorite part. All right.
Yes.
Here we go.
This is the scariest part.
It's
Seems like it's going slow today.
yeah,
I'm gonna laugh if we get sex magic and Sydney's not on here.
No.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, that fits in well with today.
Here we go.
Okay, Nat, tell us what we're talking about today.
All right, so today we're talking about the pressure as a woman to always look good.
Woo!
Yeah, who would like to start? Why don't
Nat, you probably have a lot to say about this.
I have lots
Your
to say
business.
Yeah.
But why don't we go? I'm going to go on my screen how I see you. So Faith.
So this week has been kind of crazy and hectic, and I'm noticing, like, whether I want to or not, like the stars on the social setting, that the mullet is coming back. And so it's setting the stage for like what women should look like. And I feel like this has been like all the time, like it always has this perception, like all the movies and stuff that we see, all the movies or things that we hear, like women have a place, like we have to be, like before it was like in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant, like that was one stereotype of what we were supposed to do. Then when we hit the workforce and doing all of that stuff, like we had to look a specific way. And
Yeah.
I am so far from looking like the specific way for a female, and I hate the thought that it's all lumped into one. I hate it. Absolutely hate it.
All right.
So my email today, just to let you know context, my email today was, are you a boss bitch or are you a boxed bitch? Like it's going all out there,
I
like
that.
Damn.
your inner personality and doing all of that, like, because your style impacts who you are on the inside, not just who you are on the outside either, or who you seem
Yeah.
to be on the outside.
Awesome. Lori, how do you what does that resonate for you? Is there something that you feel about it? Have you
Yeah.
had experiences?
Yeah. So when I was in corporate, I was always, you have to dress a certain way. You got to wear, you always had to be appropriately dressed. I wore makeup. I did my hair. I would do fun hairstyles and all those things. And I don't mind doing those things. I remember, I don't remember how long ago it was, but my dad worked for a bank and he was an executive at the bank. And he would always say, like, whenever you're ready, like, come on, let's get you in. I never wanted to go there. He would say, but you got to lose some weight and you got to do this and you got to have your hair done. And you have to look the part before you can come in and be that. I was like, how ridiculous is that I have to lose weight, have my hair done every day, wear makeup, wear heels, and all of those things in order to fit into that corporate box, as you called it, right? I would have been a box bitch.
Yeah, you would have been.
Yeah.
And I have no desire to do that at all. I don't mind getting dressed up. I like to put makeup on. I like to do my hair. I like to curl my hair, all of those things. But I don't want to have to do it because
Right.
it is what is appropriate for wherever I am. That shit don't fly.
Well, I think that we all have like this pressure on us to look a certain way from media, us little older girls magazines and stuff like that, right? So we all grew up with media in some way showing us what we're supposed to look like. And when we don't fit that, stabs at your self-confidence and self-worth. And I feel like a lot of times, especially for women, that we take a little bit longer to settle into our true selves and who we really are, not who we want to become, but who we really are. And I think that happens honestly, like in your later 30s, early 40s. Like people really are starting to settle in and like, fuck it, this is me. I don't have boxes. There is no box. I don't live in boxes. I really despise boxes. And so I've learned how to like just go against the grain. For instance, I mean, just being a psychologist, I sometimes have colored hair. I've had pink hair. I've had gray hair. I have tattoos. I cuss. I do all these things that isn't like your typical boxed in psychologist. But for me, I just couldn't live that way. It wasn't comfortable, and it like would make me feel bad about myself and depressed. And so I just like let that be and let that go. And I think that for us, and especially in this podcast of us talking about those things, empowering women to just be who they want to be without worry that, you know, you're going to have haters wherever you go. And those aren't your people anyways. Let them fucking hate. And you go on and find your tribe of people that really get you and understand you and just live life.
Yeah, I love that. Kat, I'm sure you have a lot to say, as I do. So
No, you probably have way more to say than I do, but I have to show you guys this picture, because this is like, I don't know why I was thinking about this today, but this is the perfect topic for today, because this is me when I was like 7, and this is how I am. Like, look how unattractive, like, societally, like I am just like a little nerd, right? With my little, I thought I was rocking it, right?
We
Like
all were nerds.
I thought I was like the hottest thing ever at that time. Not that I was thinking I was hot at that age, but I was just like, wow, I feel great and I feel confident. And in my life now, it's like it was weird because I went from that. And I feel like this is kind of like a cyclical thing in life, especially as women with the looks department. But like, I was so confident when I was young, you know, like we're so innocent and we're just like so unaware, and it feels great and it's very liberating. And then it's like you get into this phase of middle school and like, oh, everybody's looking at me. Oh, all this stuff is happening around me. And you start to become like hyper aware of the way people are seeing you. And, oh, I want to have this hair so I can impress somebody here and there. And then it's like you get to your adulthood and you start to like come into your own, and you start to like go back to that level of not unawareness, but you're kind of grounded at this point. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I feel like that now. And it's like, if I don't want to wear my makeup, I feel confident in makeup. I know that some of you guys can relate to that. Like I feel good with red lips on. Like it makes me feel empowered. People do get shamed for that so much. Oh, take your makeup off and let's see what you really got. It's like, well, who cares? I mean, what you really have is beautiful as well. And if you feel comfortable and you feel confident that way, then you should show up that way. Like that's what, and I teach on camera stuff, and people always say to me, I just posted something yesterday and people were like, well, I don't go on camera because I'm not showing this mug on camera the way that I'm showing. Like, who wants to look at this? And I said, who said that somebody didn't want to look at you? Like, who said that? Who taught you that?
Right.
And you convinced yourself of that story. But I'm back to kind of like that kid self, which feels really good now. But there was a time in my life when I was like super hyper aware, and I felt that pressure to be a certain way, and like stick up to the trends and stay up with the trends or whatever. And now it's just like, sorry, here you go. This what you see is what you get.
that makes total sense.
Yep.
Take it away, Natalie.
Oh gosh. So
Oh, here we go.
this could be a 3-hour conversation. So I think for me, you know, I am in an industry where beauty is determined by what you're seeing on TV and the magazines and the influencers and social media and the celebrities, right? And I think what happened with society is, and this happened to me when I was a very little girl, is instead of asking you what is right about you, people were not taught to be brought up, what is right about me? They were taught to be brought up, what is wrong about me, right? Like, what is wrong? So people that don't know me, I am a makeup artist. I do work with some high profile clients, and I do editorial work. Then I work with brides and regular people every single day. And, you know, we got into this world of changing what we look like to be what we were told beauty is, right? So I come from a standpoint where I'm not going to change what you look like. I'm going to enhance your natural beauty, and I can show you how to do that through the art of makeup so that you do feel confident. But if you don't like to wear makeup, that's okay. If you don't want to contour your face to look like the Kardashians, that's okay, right? And we got into a mindset in this world where that wasn't okay. It wasn't okay to not look this way. I grew up with a dad who, you know, if you fly on a plane with me, you're never going to see me in pajamas or sweatpants flying on a plane, because my dad's like, you have to look presentable. I don't care what you wear. It has to be presentable, because you never know who you're going to run into. And they could be your next client. They could be somebody you're working for. And so I understood that business mindset in that sense. But then I worked for corporations where, yes, you were buttoned up. You had to wear nylons. The skirt was past the knee, right? But men could wear whatever they wanted every day. Right. And so, you know, society keeps changing its rules on beauty and right. And so no one can keep up. Like, nobody can keep up with this. This is not, makeup artists can't keep up with it. There's a new trend every other day of the week, right? There's a new makeup palette every other day of the week. And so what I tell people is, it's not about what everybody else is saying. It's about, how do you feel and what makes you feel the best? I've been shamed for what I look like my entire life, whether I was fat and chubby with glasses that were Coke bottles, or whether I turned into what you see today, right? I've been shamed no matter what, because somebody is always going to find each next step of your life. There's going to be somebody that is going to be threatened by that. And that then projects onto everybody when it comes to what we look like, as opposed to the internal stuff, right? As opposed to, like, I've had friends tell me, oh, Natalie, it's casual. And this is not to shame them, because they don't realize, but Natalie, oh, come over, it's casual, not your casual, like real casual, right? Like, why am I being shamed because I just dress like this all the time? And I happen to feel comfortable dressed like I do all the time, right? And so I think we're in a society that tells you what is wrong about you and not what is right about you. And we need to get back to feeling what is right about us. So with this pressure for people to always look good all the time. And I know I say it all the time, what I look like on camera, and Lori with, you know, your dad telling you to lose weight because society is going to think something about you. Faith with your long hair before you stepped into your power. Michelle, you know, talking about all the psychological damage that this can do. And then Kat, you were this young little girl and confident, and then somebody told you that that was wrong, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like, in order for people to get past this whole pressure of looking good all the time, you have to ask yourself, what is right about me, as opposed to what is wrong about me.
So can we just start now? What is right about us? Everybody say, Natalie, what's right about you today? What's right about you?
What's right about me today is I just dealt with a really tough situation with a client. I'm put together. I washed my hair today. I feel good about myself. I'm wearing my favorite jean jacket.
I love that jean jacket.
Right, thank you. That's what's right about me today. So.
Yes. Lori, what's right?
So many things right now.
I love it. Yeah, you had an awakening this week.
I did. I had a really intense week. And I think for me, what's right is that I have a really clear path for where my future is going.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Faith, what's right about you today?
Today I am rocking my red lips, which I absolutely love to wear. I don't wear a lot of makeup. And so for me, and I've been down the path where I used to put makeup on all the time, and I felt good in it at that time. Now I think a previous episode, I tried to wear makeup again, and like the full makeup with the blush, and like, I don't even know all the terms anymore because it's been that long.
You have it right, yeah.
But I tried to put it all on and do the contouring and all these things, and it just felt so out of place for me. It just felt so misaligned with who I am right now in my life. And so now I just went back to my simple, just slapping on my eyebrows and doing my lips, and then I get my lashes done, and that's the extent of my makeup. But so that is what's going right with me, and I'm getting aligned in my business and stuff, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
Michelle, what's right about you today?
So for me, I think it's just being able to like share who I am, because transitioning from the space of psychologist to coaching, psychologists don't share anything about themselves, right? You're kind of like this blank slate, and then coaching, to really be a good coach, I see it as you have to show like what's bad as well as what's good. It's not all about like, oh, I'm rolling in the dough, you should come along with me so you can roll in the dough with me. Is like showing people like the challenges and the difficulty, and just being raw and real with people. So that, I think that's going really well for me, to just be me and share what that's like. And I've got my eyelashes back. Oh my gosh. You just don't know what it's like when you've gotten used to something for so long.
Yeah.
And then the world tells you, no, you can't have them. And I'm like, oh shit, I need eyelashes. This is not work out. So I went
I
on
love it.
without eyelashes,
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm back in my space.
I love that. Kat, what's weird about you today?
I washed my hair.
I feel you.
Oh, that sounds so. No, I really do. And I have to say this too, like you guys, this podcast kind of it doesn't force me. I love putting on makeup. It's like something I enjoy. It's not, I don't do it because I have to, but like showing up on the podcast, it's like kind of like a little event. And I'm like, oh yeah, now I can pull out the artistry again. Like Natalie's an artist. She knows how this is. I just like, I don't know. I guess I'm feeling right about that too, like just the art of it all, and like the face. Like Natalie, you love the face, like you work on it, you love it's so much more than just putting makeup on. It's like this, what am I going to create today? Yeah, it's like yeah, it is. And I just love like the lines and like, oh yeah, look at how you can, like, it's just so awesome. So I'm feeling right.
I love that. I love that. But what I try to teach people is that that is an art form, and that is for a specific reason. You don't have to do that for everyday stuff. Let me tell you, those people you see on Instagram, all those people you see in the magazines, I know what they look like before we get to them, right? And so they're also human beings, and the pressure is very high on everybody. And it's even more high on them, because if they have a day that they don't look perfect, you see the paparazzi and all the tabloids go after them. And so I just want to remind people that how you show up for yourself and feel about yourself is all that matters. You don't have to wear makeup. You can wear a ton of makeup. You don't have to contour your face. You can contour your face to the next level. You don't have to do your hair. You can do your hair. You don't have to wear fancy clothes, or you can wear fancy clothes. And the people in your life should support that. And they should be cheering you on. And if they're not, unfortunately, that doesn't mean you have to eliminate them from your life, but unfortunately, it usually has to do with something within themselves that's bringing up for them, and they're not willing to deal with it. So just remember that looking perfect and the pressure look perfect is something that we take internally from a projection from the world that it's given to us, and that's not necessarily, you looking perfect on camera is going to be different than how I feel I look perfect on camera. And just remember that you don't have to look like somebody else. You should look like the true version of yourself. And if you want the enhanced version of yourself to be out there, then that's your choice. So that's just, concluding that, because I do want to talk about how people don't realize that people do not just look like that when they wake up.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with some of those people you see for hours making them look that way. So
do they, Natalie, like, do they feel, I mean, how much of that do you get from like Hollywood people and celebrities? Do they feel like that pressure, or are they just kind of like, nope, this is the way I am and this is the way I want to show up? Or do they feel the pressure?
I haven't met one that I've personally worked with that doesn't feel that pressure, definitely at some point in their career. There is a famous person that I worked with years, and she is very much a natural person, and was told she could not be, right? Because as we see these characters on TV, the producers make them, their teams of people make them who they want them to be. And not who that person truly is. And it's usually not until later in their careers that they are able to stand up and become who they want. I talk about this all the time. Meghan McCain on The View. She was buttoned up, bun in hair, very minimal makeup because producers told her she was conservative Republican. This is what you need to look like. She had a baby. She came into her own power. She hired a makeup artist, a hairstylist. This girl is banging every day on The View now. And I love watching women step into their power. And so when you step into your power, that's how you feel most comfortable, right?
And it's not that she wasn't banging before, but what you're saying is that she now owns it.
She owns it. She's a beautiful woman, has always been a beautiful woman, but she was the character that they told her she was going to be. Now she's like, I'm young. I'm in my mid-30s. I want to have a good time. I don't want to look like this buttoned up girl all the time. And she's beautiful and gorgeous, and she stepped into her power. And so for me, I like to lead women through my art of makeup into learning how to step into their power. And if that just means enhancing their natural beauty or showing them how, if they want to learn how to contour their face, showing them that, that's what that means. There's a point for looking those other ways. There's TV, there is editorial shoots where the magazine has a look and you have to look that way. People believe the Kardashians invented contouring. They did not. So contouring has been around because drag queens invented it, because these were men that tried to change their face to look more feminine through shadow. Okay. So there's people have misperceptions of that. And then I think we're in a society now where people believe that a filter is what somebody truly looks like, right? Like skin has to be smooth and flawless. Well, that's not so, unless you're, I say this, unless you're a mannequin, your skin is not smooth and flawless. No one's is. That's put through a filter to look that way. So, growing up, I know the older generations, we had magazines. We didn't know that they were airbrushing those magazines so that would look like those people. Magazines now, it's social media and filters, and I like filters too, but let's face it, 90% of people don't know what anybody looks like anymore if they're just following them on social media because everyone's under a filter.
Like we got the taste of like old school life, like seeing the magazines and all that stuff, and then half of our life has been this like social media ridden, like we're not like Gen Z where we're just locked into this completely. So we can, separate that and see that it's not like, that's not really how people look, obviously.
Yeah.
And, but another thing I wanted to say too, is Lori, I used to be a bank teller in college. So worst job for me ever. I'm like, how much was it? Like, I am the worst with money. I can't like the math and all that stuff. So I was pretty slow. I'm not going to lie. And, I remember like you were saying about, showing up a certain way. And I'm just thinking to myself, I keep going back to Mad Men. You guys are, he cannot stop watching. I have stopped watching it completely, but Keith still watches it. I'm like, do whatever you want. And they like, can you imagine telling, and I'm not trying to make this like a sexist conversation. We love men. They're cool. We love you guys. But like, can you imagine telling a man, like, you have to lose weight to look good in your suit? Like, when would that have happened? So I was just thinking about like, it really is the female thing. Like it is being a woman.
It is being a woman. Yeah. And I think that if anybody watched the Britney Spears documentary, that is a perfect example of what society and the industry did to a beautiful, strong young woman, right? She was the cute little kid. Then she was too sexy. Parents were like, oh, my daughter can't watch her because she's in a baby doll outfit, right? And then she was crazy because she was having postpartum depression from her children and all this stuff. And so this has been going on for forever. This has been going on for decades, centuries. Back in, olden times, Egyptian times, women had to be a certain way, whatnot. But my big thing is get to the point where you say, I'm not going to succumb to that. And I'm going to look at myself for who I truly am. And I'm going to live my life that way. And I'm not going to try to live based off of these unrealistic expectations that are put out into the world. Because here's a prime example of watching somebody who was famous and had everything that everyone could ever want. And now you know the true story. So remember, 90% of what you're seeing is not reality.
Yeah. Right.
And hashtag free Britney.
And hashtag
We love Britney.
we
It's
love
so
Britney
sad.
Spears. It's so sad. So yeah, so I think, you know, and I think showing up on camera, that's scary. It's scary for me. I'm the behind the scenes girl, right? So that's me. I'm behind the scenes. I'm the makeup artist. I don't say anything. I'm not seen. I'm not heard. I'm back there making people look a certain way. And so we're our own worst critics, right? Because we were taught to be.
Yeah.
Society taught us to be, not because right? Like, I don't know how many people were raised to be what is right about you. No, it was like, oh, we don't do that. That's not how we act. That's not what we look like. We're good girls. Close your
What is
mouth.
the old thing? You better act like a lady.
Yeah. Act like
How do you even do
What is
that?
that?
I've talked about on this podcast how I have naturally large chest. I am an hourglass figure. I have been shamed for that in so many areas of my life, from parents. What is the message? Am I too sexy? Am I not? If I put on a dress that somebody that has, you know, a smaller chest puts on, I look much different in it, right?
Mhm.
And so then I'm deemed, you know, a whore or a slut, or, oh, she's too sexy, she's not sexy enough, right? We hear this all the time. We hear celebrities talk about it. We hear, you know, people on Instagram, influencers talk about it. We hear this all the time. And so I just think I'm passionate about the subject because a part of what I do in my makeup industry is try to teach people that there is nothing wrong with you. Let's look at what's right about you. And then guess what? I can help you enhance that when you want it to be.
Yeah. And you know what you said about the big boobs, and you know, I can relate to this
Yes, I do.
so deeply.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like, anytime you wear a camisole top, it's not the way that somebody else look, like with
Right.
a smaller chest size looks. And I
Yeah.
was at work one time at, you know, a QVC, and it was like behind the scenes. And I remember this man on one of the teams who I worked with coming over to me and saying, maybe the camisole, like, you should wear something else. I was like, how, excuse me. And so now I'm like, listen, I got it. Might as well.
Yeah, right,
Fuck it.
right.
I'm just going to show them off now. Like, it was
Right.
just appalling. It was appalling.
Look at all the people that are shamed for then not having them, right? So then it's like then the opposite. So it's like, unless they're the perfect size for every single person,
Mhm.
right? You're shamed for it. So
I mean,
it's, yeah, so there's so much we could get into with the subject that I feel, but I just want the message to be stop the pressure to look perfect all the time. If you're putting that on yourself, start asking yourself, what is right about me? Like, what is right about me? How can I show up today that's right about me? I have, you know, people have children, they can't shower and do their hair, and then they're running businesses online. They have to do a story, and then they're afraid to show up and whatnot.
yeah.
What is right about you? Talk about that. Talk about, hey, I have 5 kids that are doing homeschooling and I haven't showered in 3 days, right? But this is me, and here we are. Or,
Right.
right? Or talk about, hey, I love to wear makeup every day and I don't care what you have to say about it. This is what I love.
Right.
Or talk about, hey, I love good skincare and I like fake lashes. Right. And that's all that works for me. So,
And that's a good message for our listeners too. Like, anytime you guys
Absolutely.
listen to these episodes and you're inspired, send us what is right about you. Like,
Yes.
tell us,
would love that.
what do you love about yourself?
Yeah.
That's so important. Thank you, Nat.
Sure. I mean, that was such a great topic. I'm so happy that it came up. There's so much more we could get into with it, but thanks for listening to the Red Lips and Mic Drops podcast. We are so appreciative of all of you listeners. We would love to get your feedback, and don't forget to go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all of our podcast links, and give us your ratings.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
6 women on the internet coming together for intimate conversations about difficult topics with soft hearts and strong voices. This is Red Lips and Mic Drops.
Red lips and mic drops, big hips and lip gloss. I'm talking issues and our thoughts. The world's unfair, so let's talk. Red lips and mic drops, big hips and lip gloss. I'm talking issues and our thoughts. The world's unfair, so let's talk.